Hey, what's up guys and welcome back to Anime King 3, and today I'm going to be giving you part 26 of What If Naruto Was Neglected with Jashin sealed inside of him. Remember to get this one to 100 likes as usual, share this to all of your friends in your social media platform, and also guys, go ahead and check out the brand new episode of What If Naruto Was Neglected and Lost Everything over on Anime King 2. And enjoy that, guys. And stay tuned for a brand new episode coming over on Anime King. And if you're new, yes, you heard that correctly. I indeed have 3 channels, Anime King, Anime King 2, and Anime King 3, which I post what fun every single day for you guys to enjoy. So sit back, relax, and enjoy, guys. So yeah, without further ado, what is to begin this new episode? Start the intro. So the last time we left off, Gaara attacked with all of the Jashin members as they start to rain havoc and chaos down on Konoha, destroying every single thing around them. She was able to separate herself from Shikaku for a time being, as Shikaku was made up of black sand. As it was destroying everything, Minato and Jiraiya had to work together to seal the thing away in a powerful sealing matrix. Minato flashed toward the seal when he sensed it react to someone else's presence. Gaara tried to fight back, but he was just much stronger. In this corridor where he placed all of his seals, he was flashing around like crazy as he sliced her. As Naruto lost it as he screamed out in rage, a small bit of the power still remained inside of him. It exploded outwards and blew him away. But he had to flash away because he knew that black smoke was deadly to most. Menma though, he placed a seal on Naruto while he was fighting him, as he appeared and he brutally assaulted Naruto. In that very moment, Naruto saw Hinata jump in the way of the attack to give her life for him, as he realized that she loved him. And something felt different about this. His feelings towards her. As Naruto watches Menma brutally murder her right in front of his eyes, he lost it as he tried to attack Menma, but his body was still incredibly weakened as Menma assaulted Naruto. He delivered several deadly damage to Naruto down there as he broke his arms and sliced him apart, tearing him to pieces. But Naruto kept on healing as Menma dragged him upstairs by his face, as they were in a barrier that erupted around the entire place, so he could not leave. As Mito used her chain to pierce Naruto and hold him up in the air. As Menma placed his hand on Naruto's chest, Hinata was there to see everything as she started to cry. Most people think that she started to cry because she saw the man that assaulted her, but that was not the case. As Menma created a Rasengan, but before Naruto went down, he told him that he would be back. He screamed to the heavens as he screamed out Zana and Jashin as he told them that he will be back. He will be back as Menma created a Rasengan and obliterated Naruto's body. As Kushina could not watch the horrific scene as she had to turn her head away, as Minato stood there as firmly as he can, as the threat of Naruto was finally gone as the bodies were burned. When Gaara woke up, she was with the Shinigami who told her what happened, as Gaara couldn't believe that bitch had betrayed him. After everything, after the way Naruto loved her, the Shinigami was gonna take her soul now. But before he could, hands burst from the ground and grabbed Gaara, yanking her away. The Shinigami then felt his sister as her power had returned back to her, while she was in human form. There was no way that he could defy her now or do anything against her, as she was now on the living world and he couldn't do anything against her, as she had her power. But something was wrong. Over the years, Naruto has killed so many people. He has killed them in a way to make their souls, well, earned for revenge. But the strange thing about it was none of those souls returned to her, as she blamed her brother for that when he told her that he didn't do such thing. She was confused, as she did not understand what he meant by that. So if he didn't have the souls, and if she didn't have them, where were they? And where the hell did Gaara go? As you could see the panic on her face, it couldn't be possible. No, it can't be. Meanwhile, Sasuke was lost. When he found out that Naruto was dead, the masked man gave him an option to continue following him, to create that world that they were looking for, that world of peace in the infinite Tsukuyomi, which Sasuke gladly accepted. When Gaara woke up back, she was confused where she was. She was no longer with the Shinigami, but she was somewhere darker, somewhere more dreadful. But she then saw someone coming towards her, she was shocked. So yeah guys, that was basically what I thought. You guys can switch across the place, check it out for yourself. So let's begin this new episode. Minato sat in his office as he looked through the window. His face was blank, not showing any emotion. Lately, he has not been getting out of sleep. His sleeping time was cut short and he had that terrible nightmare over and over that somehow Naruto returned and killed them all. But some time has passed since that happened, and there was no sign of Naruto ever returning. Despite his threat, he was dead and he could not return, no matter what he said. Yes, he could not. As Minato looked through the window of the village has returned back to stability after the recent, well, not so recent attack. The villagers were back in full health. The buildings were back to normal, and Konoha wasn't looming the attack anymore. The hidden stone has all of a sudden stopped, with your missing names. Minato had a feeling that Naruto was somehow guiding. He didn't know, but somehow the man was being fooled by Naruto, and that was Oniki. To attack Konoha. Because ever since Naruto passed, a week after that, Oniki had stopped his assault. No more missing ninjas were coming after Konoha shinobis, and ninjas can actually do their missions outside line of fire. He had spoken to the Raikage, as the Raikage just wanted to know that Naruto was indeed dead, although it was a shame that he couldn't crush his head with his own hand, but they still had no idea where the two-tail was. The one-tailed demon spirit was still locked away in the Hokage's secret vault, a powerful seal to keep it bound and contained. Things haven't been so good personally though over the past year and a half since Naruto's death. Well, concerning his remaining son Menma. Menma has been trying to find Sasuke, not just him, Mito. They wanted to find Sasuke as they put all their focus on that. But not even Jerry can hear a single word about him. But yet there was this group going around, known as the Akatsuki collecting tail beasts. He found out that Orochimaru was once a part of this group. Not to mention his snake, the snake has been rather quiet over the past year and a half. Nothing, no sightings at all. It was like the world was standing still except for the Akatsuki moving. But given the fact that Konoha doesn't have the 9 tails, and no one knew that Konoha contains the 1 tail, given the fact that it had been a secret, and they thought that Gaara's death meant the 1-tailed demon being freed and it will be reborn. Minato wasn't going to create another Jinchuriki. He saw what happened the last time, but now, the 1-tailed spirit was different. It was corroded and black. It was nothing but darkness. A side effect of Naruto perhaps being with Gaara, but he did not know. The older sister of Gaara had taken over, and she was currently ruling the Hidden Sand, and that was Temari. The girl was polite and nice, and she was keeping everything stable. The Akatsuki was still moving in the shadows. Up till this point, there has been no word on Sasuke, and no word on Orochimaru. Things were strangely calm. No wars, no looming threat. And whenever things were too calm, chaos seemed to follow. He just hoped everything stays stable at the moment. Meanwhile, as Hinata was currently standing in front of a training post, things hadn't been good over the past year and a half. Ever since Naruto's death. At first, they tried to make it work, but every time she saw Menma, she saw Naruto. And a part of her hated him for killing Naruto as that moment where she spent with him. As much as she felt disgusted with herself, a part of her wanted to be with him. Despite him being the enemy and killing so many people, as she found herself to be a real terrible person, and she couldn't bear it. That is why she and Menma were no longer dating. A relationship that was said to be a powerful, strong-lasting relationship had been broken. She just couldn't do that to Menma anymore, knowing that she was thinking about his dead brother, knowing that she had more feelings for the dead than the man that she was with. She just couldn't do that anymore. Many people had joined her side. They thought that her mind, her entire physique, everything about her had changed since the incident with Naruto, the monster as they call him. They thought that Menma was being a hypocrite after what happened. But she begged them, pleaded with them not to say anything like that. Menma was a kind, nice person, and he did not deserve any of this. She was the one that could not go along with things. But everyone believed that she needed time. Everyone was babying her, saying that she went through so much and Menma should understand. But over the past year and a half, she has been neglecting him badly. She has not been showing up for their dates, refusing to kiss him because she saw Naruto's face most time when she leaned to kiss him. As he had had enough and asked her if she still wanted to be with him after everything had happened. She had not answered him for an entire week, and he came by the Hayuga compound, and she had refused to see him. And the guards had to escort him away, telling him that Hinata-sama does not wish to see him. He did not fight her, put up a fuss. She had then showed up a week later, asking to talk, which he did. Sit down to hear her talk. She told him that she just didn't want to be in this relationship anymore. He could not understand why. For the past year, he has been there for her by her side, making sure that she go through this, and yet, after the year ended, she just straight up dumped him. It broke his heart. She didn't want him to feel pain, but she just couldn't. She couldn't know that she loved someone that died more than him. And she was just towing him along, using him as a replacement because her feelings was not that strong for him. She felt like a hypocrite, a monster doing that. So she had to let him go. He took it really bad. He hasn't been hanging out with his friends lately. He has been going on a lot of missions outside the village that stay in months. His mother had come to talk to her, as Kushina believed that it was because of what happened to her that seeing Menma somehow made her thought of Naruto, given the fact that when it comes to looks, they weren't so far off, given Naruto hair and eyes. She agreed with Kushina just to make her understand. Mito had tried to do the same to try and get them back together, but it just wouldn't work. Menma still had feelings for her, but yet he squashed them down. And he chose to be out there. Mito had been on his side as well, searching for Sasuke ever since. As he wanted to find him and bring him home, Naruto was dead now. He didn't have anything to worry about. She just hoped Menma was alright. As she sat back down on the ground, she still couldn't believe that he was actually dead. After a year and a half, she didn't feel like he was ever coming back anymore. He always said that he would come back, and he'd do as he pleased, but he was truly dead. Meanwhile, as Menma woke up, as he groaned, as he had a rather nasty headache, he lifted himself up in the bed that he was in. He was not in the Fire Nation. He was in a different nation. He had went out drinking. As he looked over, a black-haired beauty was sleeping beside him. As she was fast asleep, he had went to the bar and he met this girl. Over the past 6 months, he has been trying to forget Hinata by going out drinking, doing other stuff. He was upset by the action that she chose to just break up with him like that. It hurt him, and his emotion felt dull. So for the past 6 months, he has been going around sleeping with all kind of females around the Elemental Nation in bars. Given the fact that the Hidden Stone was no longer hunting them, because they knew that he was a Hidden Stone trying to target them, things has been calm. He has been taking long missions away from the village, month at a time. His mother was quite upset by his actions, but at this point he didn't really care. He felt hollowed. Yes, he killed his brother, but after doing so, what did he get? Absolutely nothing. People see him as the one that killed the monster, but yet, the girl that he loved, the one that he wanted to be with, broke up with him. And he hated it. So he has been trying to quell his emotions by doing these unsable women. But nothing was seeming to work because none of them can replace her, as much as he hates his hate. As he got out of bed and got dressed, he didn't even bother to wake her as he just left. He was supposed to go back to the village, as he just finished another long month mission. And that is what he was doing, but he was taking his sweet time going back home. As he traveled until night came, as he found another bar, he smirked as he went inside. He scanned the place as he saw another black-haired beauty. This woman was exotic, as she was just stunning in a one-piece dress. No one was going up to her or saying anything. As he made his way and sat down, as she looked up from her sip that she was drinking, she looked rather annoyed at him sitting down. Menma didn't know why, but her face kind of looked familiar. You don't mind, do you? He asks. Actually, I do, she said. I'm kind of busy if you don't see. Busy? With what? Menma asks. As the woman simply smiled. Strange smile like she recognized him from somewhere. Have we met before? Asks Menma. Oh yes. You see, both of us have something in common. Huh? What's that? Oh, it's quite simple. We both knew Naruto-kun. Menma got on defensive rather easily as the woman simply laughed. Sit down, she said. Why should I, said Menma. How do you know him? Well, we were lovers in the past. As Menma reached one of his kunais. My name is Jashin. Nice to finally meet you and talk to you. As Menma was narrowing his eyes at her, anything that knew that monster should be eradicated. You might want to sit down before I snap you like a twig, she said. As Menma scoffed at that. Over the past year and a half, he hasn't been taking it easy on his training. But this woman, there was just something about her. I'm not gonna hurt you, she said. There's something I want to talk to you about. Huh? What's that? Sit. As she looked around. Unless you want me to kill everyone in here. And their deaths will be on your head. What? Said Menma. Oh, it's rather easy, you see. I possess the same power as Naruto-kun. Well, you can say that I was the one that gave it to him. What? You? As the woman looked towards him as a pressure settled down in the bar. I said sit down, she said. As Menma felt a chill went down his spine. Like he was looking at death itself, he was afraid. He could not understand how could this one woman, words, made him so scared. As he sat down. What are you? There's no time for that. Have you been noticing anything strange lately? I'm glad I run to you, you know that. So we can finally talk. What do you mean by anything strange, Menma asks? Well, have you ever seen Naruto-kun? How would I see that monster? I killed him after all. No. After his death, have you ever seen him? He's dead. How can I see him? The woman looked away in deep thought. Then you're no use to me, she said. She got up. Hey, wait! As Menma reached after her, but her eyes settled on him. And there it was again, that feeling of death that told him to stop, or he would die. As she simply walked away, Jashin didn't know that she would find him here, of all places. But she was just merely speculating as she walked to the bar. She hasn't been having a good 5 months. The past year has been splendid. She and Xana going around doing as they please. They still do as they please, but she has been worrying lately. Yes, she, given what she was worried. Even her, she paused. Are you stalking me, brother? She asked. Her brother showed up out of thin air. She was the only one that could see him. You felt it too, didn't you? And she moved towards one of the stools that she saw outside and sat down. What is it? She said. I don't know. Quakes that even I can feel through. A strange dimension. A dimension that I can't enter, sister. I believe you already know what it is, don't you? No, that's not possible. He's dead. Then who else can it be? This power. It closely resembles yours. But there is something off about it. If I must say something more potent, twisted, corrupted, that is filled with nothing but loathing and destruction. But he's dead, damn it, she shouted. As the passing by people looked towards her, but she didn't pay them any attention. He's dead. I felt when he died. The Shinigami looked away, as he felt it once again, the world. Normal people couldn't feel it, but they could. The spiritual world, the world of death, the pure world, it was shaking. The souls were feeling a shake. The place was just shaking over and over again. Someone was literally shaking the world and beyond. Being what he was, he could feel it, but normal people, they were completely oblivious to this. Jashin could feel it as well. It started about a couple of months ago. The year was smooth and calm. Nothing happened in the past year, but after the couple of months, tapping into the 6 months that went away, the place started tremor over and over. Something that confused her and worried her, because this was truly him. No, it couldn't be. She got back to her feet. This just must be something or someone else. Who else has this power, sister? Go on, answer me, he said. Who else do you know have this power like us? If you can answer that question, I won't bother you again. But she could not. You realize now, don't you? The big mistake that you made. Mistake? To get what I want? I didn't make any mistake. I did what I want on purpose because I wanted to do it, she said. And there's no one that can tell me otherwise. You truly believe so? Yes, I do. Then why are you worried? What? Do I look worried to you? I've known you for a long, long time, sister. And this is a first. I can see it on you. You gain in human emotions, you're panicking. You've been spending too much time with the humans. I can feel the dread and panic just looming off of you. You're scared. She scoffed. Pathetic. Me, scared. Nothing in this world can scare me, not even you, brother. Well, if you're not, I am. Jashin was shocked to her core by that. What did you just say? This strange anomaly is growing. You and I both know that time is different from human perspective towards the dead. So, while a mere second might pass here, the time is a lot longer for anyone else in the other life. As Jashin looked down, her brother said that he was worried. Her brother, he never feared anything before. He's never been scared. So for him to say that, she was now starting to panic even worse. You, worrying. This is a first. Have you turned out to be a coward, brother? She asks. That is not what I am worrying about, he said. If this is indeed true, if this boy somehow managed to retain its sense of awareness and to survive this entire time, the time span there would have been immense. Thousands of years would have passed, and if he had somehow retained his powers and those souls that we lost a long time ago, we don't even know where he is. What if he's somewhere where the souls, all of the dark, treacherous souls are binding? What are you talking about? You govern over those. Not the ones that lost their path. The ones that twist themselves up into madness. They have somewhere of their own where they reside in nothing but hellish punishment. The ones that truly did despicable, cruel, unthinkable things. If he somehow got to that, as Shinigami looked worried, as Jashin got up to her feet. Look, there's just something going on that we don't know about yet. Don't worry so much. And besides, you should be worrying about me. I'm on Earth now. I can do as I please. He scoffed. You have killed a couple of people, that's it. The only thing that you seem to take part into is drinking and laying with these humans. You've lost your way, sister. You're becoming soft. Soft? Me? Soft? You must be kidding. As Shinigami turned his back on her, not everything you will get away with. Some of your actions might come back to bite you in the ass. And this time, this one is coming back with a different agenda. To disrupt the balance. And if it is, this is all because of you, sister. With that, he was gone. She cursed his name. Naruto was dead, he was gone, his soul vanished. Once you became something like them and you died, your soul vanished. And he had her power, so there's no way that he retained his mind and somehow lived through it. Screw him. He was just trying to get her worried and panic, but she was not gonna panic. As she made her way to go and have some fun, some actual fun, he didn't know what the hell he was talking about. Meanwhile, at the hidden stone, Oniki was angry. A year and a half it has been. The rumors seemed to be true, the boy was actually dead. Oniki was pissed off about that from the beginning, realizing now that his attempts were just a waste of time. The second flash, and the yellow flash being at Konoha, he didn't stand a chance with his forces. So he stopped it. All of his men that he used as missing ninjas dying for nothing. If that boy wasn't dead, he would kill him himself. But that didn't worry him now. He just had to find other ways to make Konoha bow to his demands. First take out this second and first little flash. And not to mention he had a damn Akatsuki to worry about. Meanwhile, as Sasuke Uchiha was currently making his way on an empty road. Sasuke has changed over the past year and a half as well. Sasuke realized that Naruto was dead. It kind of broke him inside, knowing that he would never get his revenge. So he accepted the masked man's plan to bring forward the infinite Tsukuyomi. In doing so though, he would have to forsake everything that he knew, cut all alliance with the people that helped him through his difficult time. Kushina, that has been there for him like a mother. She wanted to do it for Mikoto, and she did everything to make sure that he was happy. Mito, who had been there for him at his side for a long while now. Menma, who has been there for him like a brother. He even called him brother once. And Minato, who has seen to it that everything was comfortable for him. Everyone at Konoha, he had to betray them, because things were not going to be easy. The world would try to fight against them, but at least now things were calm. The Akatsuki leader was recently talking about the tail pieces, the missing tail pieces. With Naruto's death, the ninth tail was gone, and it would take a while for it to recover. So would the one tail. But that didn't mean that they had to stop. They could hunt after the other tail pieces, which they were currently doing. That is why he heard someone's throat clear. It looks like it's gonna rain. As Kisame looked up in the sky, Sasuke looked up as well as Kisame had Roshi, the four-tailed monkey, on his sword. "Where is Zetsu?" said Kisame as he looked towards Sasuke. "He hasn't contacted me yet. Once he does, I'll tell him that we have captured the Jinchuriki." As the rain started to fall, but Sasuke kept on walking. All seemed pointless right now because he was struggling with what to do. Fight against the people that he grew up with like a family. And even killing them to be in a world that is fake. But he would have everyone and everything that he always wanted, and he would get his revenge against Naruto in there. It was a hard choice to make. Meanwhile, at the hidden rain, Nagato stood on the balcony. The Rinnegan that he possessed was a unique thing. The eyes, that was said to be wielded by gods. The Sage of Six Path, a man that was said to be a god of this world, to bestow chakra upon them. Nagato has been feeling something strange lately. Tremors. He barely felt it, but he could feel that the sense of his vision. Konan could not feel it. No one else could not feel it. Not even his paths could feel it. Only him with his real actual body. But now as he looked through Tendo, he couldn't feel a single tremor. Because he could not, even though they had the Rinnegan same way. He concluded that it was because of his eyes. He didn't know why or what it was, but something about it was just unnatural, unsavory, corrupted, wicked, dark. His plans had been pushed into turmoil, with the 1 and 9 tail vanishing. But they will just have to wait as they collect the other tail pieces, so they can get what they finally want. But this world, something was about to happen big very soon. Yes, very big. Meanwhile, Orochimaru was pissed off. First the goddamn Uchiha, and then Naruto. He was gonna take Sasuke, but Naruto ensured him that he didn't need to take him. Jashin would grant him immortality. He had found the bitch. Yes, he found her, and she tried to rip him apart. Lucky enough he was able to survive. But she was powerful, incredibly so, and Orochimaru could not face her right now. That is why he was working on a way to contain her. Yes, he had Karen and several others working in that steel to somehow contain her, and then he would use her for her vast amount of power. And if he had that, he would be literally unstoppable. It still hurt him to this day that Naruto was dead, and he couldn't get what he wanted. But time passed, people die. He would just have to wait until the next moment, for his right moment. Meanwhile, a village, called Akira Village. It was up towards a mountainside. Close to Kumo but not close enough for anything to be felt from their location. Inside one of the many houses there was a girl. Her hand was soaked in blood. Two people lie down beside her on the ground. Their throats were slit open. The girl seemed to be in her teens. She was laughing. She was laughing like she had lost it. The people on the ground was a man and a woman. Her parents that she had killed with her own hands. While they were sleeping, she slit their throats. It was because her Lord told her to do it. She had been chosen. She has been chosen by a higher power to ascend from this world, to be something better. All she had to do was perform what he said, to perform the ritual. Her parents, she would reunite with them, and they would also be powerful. And she would be better. This village had suffered a lot throughout the wars that happened in the past. And not to mention the recent, bombings before the Hidden Stone had stopped. Missing Hidden Stone ninjas had, tried to ambush Konoha ninjas through these parts by using explosives. Many people died, and she was tired of it. That is why, when she was chosen that night when the Lord, someone spoke to her in her dreams as she woke up, she'd keep on hearing that whisper in her ear that faded every now and then. She followed his instructions down to a T as she wrote the pentagram on the ground and draw this circling symbol in the center as she placed her hand down on it flat with the blood splashing in her fingerprints. "Don't worry, mother and father," she said. As she laughed once again, her mind seemed to have completely lost it. "You'll be back, and we'll all enjoy paradise with the power to take on any shinobis that dare harm our village." "I'm ready," she said. "Good." A voice came out of nowhere. "You know what to do." Her Lord, as she smiled, she then picked up the knife beside her as she grabbed it tight. "In the name of my Lord, I sacrifice myself to be reborn. Come forward, my Lord," she said. She stabbed herself in the stomach. She winced, but she cut her stomach open as she collapsed face first, bleeding out. Her blood mixed with the spiral, and it started to glow, an ominous dark glow, until it spun into a corrupted circle. It spun and spun and spun until the ground opened up and broke away. Screams of anguish, screams of agony could be heard, screams of death and chaos and destruction. As two black smoke flew out of the ground and went into the parent's body. One went into the male and the other went into the female. The entire room glowed in a bright light before a chain of reaction went off. The ground exploded and the village was placed in flames within seconds. All of the people there were slaughtered, but their souls never went off. Their souls were dragged towards a pit that opened up in the center of the village and was sucking everything inside, pulling the bodies and pulling the souls away. But the parents' bodies were shaking. The girl body was also pulled underground, her soul being sacrificed to bring forth whatever she called from the depths of, it seems like hell itself, somewhere unthinkable. The parent's body exploded outwards in a bright, brilliant light before darkness ensued. Meanwhile, as Jashin was making her way towards where Zana was, she froze as she felt something happening. But her senses seemed dull, like she couldn't pinpoint exactly where it was, because it was spreading. Something was spreading through the entire world. Where the hell was it? She wondered to herself. As she looked around, this feeling, it felt so unnatural. For her to be saying that was surprising. She was shocked. She didn't know what was it or what this feeling was, but it made her panic. As the entire world seemed to be frozen for a second. And then everything returned back to normal. She could no longer sense it or pinpoint it exactly where it was. There was nothing. She stopped where she was. Could he really be back? Could he have really survived that? If he was, how much more powerful has he gotten? Meanwhile, the village had been wiped out. All bodies, all buildings had been torn apart. A patrol from Kumo were making their way towards the village when they saw the explosion. so they decided to investigate on what was going on. As the Chunins looked towards the Jonin commander, it was 3 Chunins and 1 Jonin. What the hell happened here? One of the Chunin said. The Jonin commander looked around. A chain of explosions. As he saw, the way the place was exploded looked like it went off. But from where? As he followed the path. Do you think that it was a mass bombing? Probably hidden stonework, another Chunin said. Don't just go around and speculate in things. The female of the group spoke, but they're the only one with the bombing capability. The Jonin raised his hand, stopping him from talking. As he watched, he saw from the smoke 2 bodies were lying there. He saw the bodies move. They're alive. The girl moved forward, but she was stopped. Sir, we need to help them. Wait. The man felt something off. The 2 boys stepped back when they felt it, as the girl started to sweat. This feeling was unnatural. It worked. We're finally back. A sweet, feminine voice said. Well, did you have any doubt in me? A voice asked. A male, rough voice. Of course not. The 2-person kiss. As they took in a deep breath. Ah, it's so good not to be surrounded by death and fire anymore. Hypocritical, are you? She said. Well, I can be, the man said, as he got up to his feet. Poor girl, the feminine voice said. She really thought that she would have a happy life afterwards. Well, she's going to a better place, the man said, as the girl laughed. If you enjoy being tortured, continuously violated on a daily basis, well, I suppose yes, she's going to a better place. Are we going to bring them here? The girl asked. Yes, soon enough, the man said. First, we have a couple of business to take care of. Who are you? A voice asked. And what happened here? The man turned his head as he realized that the people were talking and not even noticing them. Ah, survivors. The man stepped out of the shadow and showed it the girl. As the 2 boys of the team blushed when they saw that the girl was completely naked. The Jonin commander kept his cool though, but the female turned her head when she saw the guy. He was naked as well. Huh, we're naked, the woman said. Let's fix that, shall we? As she waved her hand over her body. As a tight black pants appeared on her, with red trimmings on the side. A open fitting shirt that showed off a lot of her cleavage. And there was no sleeve, as there was an obi wrapped around her waist. This woman was stunning. She had long red flowing hair. She had small black eyes, a beautiful smile, and 2 black markings running down from her eyes, going towards her cheek. Her nails were freshly done, it seems, painted in a shade of red. Her lips had a red lipstick on it. The man got clothed as well, just by a wave of his hand, surprised Jonin sensei. Black boots. As the girl was not wearing anything, but she seemed to be deciding on what to wear. How the hell were they creating clothes? As the boots on her feet, well, small sandals appeared out of a black mass of smoke, and it seemed real because the clothing was barely blowing at the top with the wind. And her chest size was, well, it would make any other man blush. As for the man, he was wearing black boots, black pants. He wasn't wearing any weapon on him, it seems. He had an open shirt, showing off his muscles all over him. Despite being large, he wasn't that muscular that it would look like he was being weighed down. He wasn't as big as a Raikage, but he was tall. Probably 6'4", the girl was probably, what, 5'9" or 6 feet. But the both of them seemed to be comfortable with their height. The man here was completely white. His eyes were red. Red like they were glowing. He looked like he had on makeup on his face. For the black markings, they start at the bottom of his eyes, going down towards his neck. As he ran straight down, going past his chin, they seemed to go straight down towards his clothing. And it went up after passing his eyelids, going up into his hair. Just a straight black line in both eyes. But it did not go into his pupil though. as he flexed his hand. As he smirked. "Who are you?" the Jonin asked once again. "And what happened here?" As the man stepped forward, the Jonin pulled his kunai. "Answer me," he said. The Jonin felt arms wrapped around his waist. He was frozen in shock. He has a nice body," the girl said. "Does he?" the man said. "Yes, but it's just not appealing. I guess you ruined me for other guys." But as she looked towards the girl, "I can't find myself having pleasures with other girls. But I can't find myself liking any other guys." "Well, that's good for me," the man said. The Jonin spin as he swung his kunai. As he was gonna take chances they were gonna leave. As the girl did not move as the kunai slashed her across the face. As he jumped back. "Move," he said towards his squad. As they jumped back as well, moving far away from these two. The girl's face started to heal. "That wasn't very nice," she said. The girl of the group, 16 of age, was grabbed by the neck. As she screamed, her two male comrades launched towards the man that appeared out of nowhere, their kunais bared. He turned towards them, but he turned back towards the girl that he was holding. The beautiful red-headed female slapped them away. The Jonin threw a kunai as she caught it and threw it back with immense speed that it pierced the man's left shoulder as he couldn't even react fast enough. Well, I must say, I do miss the females of the Elemental Nation. "You and me both," the girl said. She walked up beside him. As they completely ignored the group behind them, the girl found herself unable to scream as he held onto her mouth. As he wrapped his arm around her waist. As he sniffed her before licking her cheek. Delicious. But a bit too snobby for my taste. As he tossed her away towards her friends, one of the boys jumped and caught her before she fell. As the girl was shaking in fear, the white-haired guy stretched his back as he could hear a cracking sound. As he rolled his shoulders and hopped on the ball of his feet. "Perfect," he said. "What about you?" "Oh, I've been perfect," the girl said. "Well, I can't deny that, Gara-chan." "Well, you're not so bad yourself, Naruto-kun." As Naruto smiled, as he then turned his head towards the four that started to flee. They didn't even say goodbye. "Well, I did make a promise." As he flashed away. As Naruto appeared above the Jonin, who looked up, and he shouldn't have looked up because as he did, Naruto reached and ripped out his eyeballs. The man dropped as he screamed. The two boys went through hand sign as electricity combined on their hands. They sent it forward towards Naruto. As Naruto simply dodged out of the way before he swallowed the two eyeballs like they were treats. I guess my palate had changed. Well, being somewhere like where I was can do that for you. The Jonin picked up himself, holding on to his kunai as he didn't know where to turn, but he tried to focus on his ears. That was when Naruto slammed both hands on the man's ears, bursting his eardrum. The female threw a kunai towards Naruto. As Naruto appeared in front of her, the kunai stabbed into the ground. I said I wasn't interested, as he stabbed her right to the heart. His hand pierced through her chest. The two Chunin's eyes went wide. Before they could say anything though, they were grabbed from behind as their necks were snapped. "Hey, they were mine," said Naruto. "You were taking too long. You love to play sometimes. And we have business to do." "Oh, I guess you're right," said Naruto. As he stepped forward, as the guy started to step back. "You monster," he said, as he pulled out a roll of explosive fragments through them. As Naruto saw them coming, he opened his mouth and swallowed it. The explosion boomed as his body kind of got large. Smoke seeped out of his eyeballs and his nose and his mouth. As he coughed. "Now that was exciting," he said, as he shook himself. The Jonin threw another kunai, but his hand was grabbed. "No, don't go and hurt my Naruto-kun." Well, not that you could. As Gara grabbed him and pulled him down as she sank her teeth into his throat and tore it right open. "You know, They were mine, said Naruto. Man. You had your fun, a lot of fun. Let's get going, shall we? As Naruto walked over towards her. You know, if you weren't so goddamn hot, I would kill you, he said. Oh, you can try, honey, you can try, she said, as he picked her up in his arms, as he kissed her on her lips. Which she did not stop to retaliate. As, even though she wanted to leave, their session turned a bit hot and heavy. And an hour later, the both of them were getting dressed once again. You're just so spontaneous. Well, I can't say I hate it, said Gaara. But now we have to get going. We have business to do, don't we? Yes, said Naruto. Guess we have been gone for too long. Well, we needed time, she said. We need it after all. We're going up against two beings of mass destruction and chaos. After what they did, well, they deserve to suffer in the most painful way possible. And not to mention you never got your revenge on Konoha. So, why don't we burn it to the ground? As Naruto smiled at that, you don't have to ask, he said, as the both of them flashed away from the destroyed area. Meanwhile, with Jashin, she was woken up out of her slumber by her annoying brother. Next to her was a sleeping form of Zenith. What? You're perving on your sister now? Asked Jashin. But her brother was serious. Deadly serious. What's wrong? She asked. Something got into this world. Yet I cannot pinpoint it, he said. What? Don't tell me you didn't feel that earlier. That strange fluctuation of darkness. Yeah, what of it? It wasn't anything special. Can you tell where it is? But no, she said. I can find you at any time. I can sense out your power, but yet I cannot sense out this thing, whatever it is. He's back. No, that's impossible. He's dead. Jashin, wake up, damn it! You realize what's gonna happen now, right? You realize how messed up the order has become. What the hell have you created? What I've created. I made sure that he died after I get what I wanted. And yet he somehow returned. You're just overthinking things as usual. He's not back, he's dead. Keep on saying that. Try to deny the truth. But I can see it. You know I'm right. It's only a matter of time before he shows himself. It's just a matter of time. And with that, he was gone. Leaving her alone to ponder on her words. It couldn't be. He was dead, right? No, it's not possible. She got out of bed. She didn't even bother to get dressed. And she stood right in the hall of the massive mansion. And she just stood there, unmoving, unblinking. Naruto couldn't be back. If he was back, how could he retain so much power to be able to break through into this world? Well, he wasn't exactly like them. His soul was still technically human, but it was just corrupted beyond return. She had turned him into half of a demon. She never gave him enough power so he can turn into fully demonic or change into something different. She had made sure of that. So this didn't make any sense at all. He should be dead. But why? Why was she so damn jumpy about this? Even if he was back, he stood no chance against her. Perhaps he would even thank her if he has gotten a bit stronger. After all, he was still loyal to her in the end. She could just tell him that she did it for her own benefit. Because she needed to be returned, and she knew that he would survive. Yes. He was always listening to whatever she says. Is there something going on? Asked Anna, as she stepped inside the hallway. No, go back to sleep. There's something you're not telling me. No, everything is alright. Stop lying to me, and I won't go back no matter what you said. You know I can just make you go back, right? Well then try, said Zena, as Jashin stepped towards her. As she then frowned. Tell me what's going on, as she placed her hand on Jashin's cheek. I don't know. What do you mean you don't know? Look, over the past couple of months, Something has been happening that I didn't tell you. What has been happening? Well, I've been talking to my brother, and we've been sensing something rather abnormal. Abnormal like what? Well, he has a crazy theory that Naruto somehow survived, and now he's coming back. But that's impossible. It is, right? Said Zana. Yes, of course. He's gone and he's never coming back. But even if he does, you can handle him, right? Don't even bother saying that because he's not coming back. He's gone from this world, there's nothing that can bring him back here. As Zana released a sigh of relief. So why are you worried then? Come on, come back to bed. Know that I'm awake, let's have some fun. Oh, I'm hurt. The both of them froze at the voice. Yes. Another voice said you didn't bother to invite us. As the two beings turned slowly, as they saw the red-headed girl walk right in front of them. Hello there, Zana-san, Jashin-san. It's been a long time. Well, more for us than it was for you. Very, very long time. Yes, it has, said a voice. I've really missed you too. The both girls were shocked to their core when they saw who was standing there. How? Said Naruto. How am I here? How am I alive? How am I even alive after you betray me? Good question, said Naruto, as he licked his lips. Would you like to find out, he asked. As Zana looked towards him, she then narrowed her eyes towards Jashin, who was visibly scared. How the hell could Naruto make her afraid? Jashin didn't understand. What is this? It was Naruto, and yet... No. This can't be possible. What the hell is this thing? But guys, be and subscribe right here. If you want the next person to do, like, subscribe, comment down below, and turn on that bell notification to be posted. Remember, share all of your friends and social media platform. But for now, see you guys soon. Peace.